I think we need more time. So I think we can now reconvene. And by asking members whether you have any motions under 37A, I hope that members will submit your motions now, and please do not submit your motions after we have, addressed those which have already been put in. I have now received 17 motions moved under 37A. Dr. K.K. Kwok has moved 4, Ms. Chen Chikin 5, Mr. Gary Fan 3 motions. That is, FCR could, in respect of 11. And now, so we deal with the motions starting with Ms. Leung Kwok Hung has 5 motions in respect of FCR 11 and 12. And they are relevant directly relevant to the agenda item. Dr. K.K. Kwok's motions. I will now put his motions now to the vote. I will first of all put onto the screen Dr. K.K. Kwok's motion. In accordance with item 37A of the Rules of Procedure of the Finance Committee, I move that we should ask the administration to, before, I think the government must conduct a detailed assessment as to whether or not the proposed project would exert any pressure on the North District and the Tolo Highway. I will now put the motion to the vote. You want to call a division. So the division bell will ring for 5 minutes. Still have some time and we have more members present. Once again, I would like to appeal to members, that is, if you want to move any motions under 37A, please submit them as soon as possible so that we can be more expedient. I already told members last week that you should, submit your motions, on Monday or Tuesday so that we can deal with them earlier. Members might have not heard me clearly the last time. So we'll now put the motion to the vote. Before I announce the result, please verify your vote. Voting is now closed and we'll display the result. We are 13 in favor, 26 against. I announce that the motion is not carried. Dr. K.K. Kwok. Sorry. Mr. Tam Yu Chung. Chairman. I'd like to, pursuant to Section 47 of the Rules of Procedure, propose that we proceed to the poll after 1 minute the division bell has rung. Mr. Tam, pursuant to Section 47, proposed that for any of the motions to be moved, the division bell should ring for 1 minute, after which voting should take place. Any members would like to speak? Mr. Leung Kwok Hong. I didn't quite understand because there was no justification. Mr. Tam has made the proposal and you are entitled to speak. And you may not speak for more than once and no more than 3 minutes. I think it's the same each and every time. I think it should be 1.5 minutes. Otherwise, members may trip and fall while they're, going to the toilet. Well, you can also, move a motion that the division bell should ring for 1.5 minutes. Whether it's 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, I'll leave it up to members to decide. Are there any other further questions from members? If not, I would put the following motion to the vote. Pursuant to Section 47 of the Rules of Procedure, it is proposed that the division bell should be rung for 1 minute instead of 5 minutes. Those in favor? Mr. Leung Kwok Hong, are you calling for division? Okay, 5 minutes.
Yes, just to remind colleagues, we are handling the motion proposed by Mr. Tam Yu Chung to shorten the voting time from 5 minutes to 1 minute. Yes, I'm just reminding you, Mr. Leung Kwok Hong. I fear that you may make the wrong, cast the wrong vote, that's all. Yes. Shall we proceed with the vote now? Before I announce the result, would you please check your vote? Ms. Sito, please. Hold on. I need to press present first. Are you able to do so, Ms. Sito? I am not able to do so. Well, it shows here that you have already done that. Have you voted? No, I'm not going to vote. But it shows here that I have cast my vote. So you are present, but you do not want to vote. Is that true? Yes. Thank you. Voting time concluded. This is the result. 26-4. Sit-Ho, were you against or were you for? All right, you're not reflected here. All right, 4 against. Mr. To. Mr. Chairman, I basically wanted to show my presence. So we have 26-4 and 3 against, and not 4, because we have to take out Sit-Ho's and Ms. Sit-Ho's vote, which was cast earlier against, but that has to be taken out. And yes, the motion is carried. Dr. Kwok, the second 37A motion. 1 minute, please. According to the 37A of the procedures of the Finance Committee, I motion that on the FCR 2015-16-12 concerning the funding of Liantang Hangyun YBCP, the construction works for the construction works must not lead to a shortage of labor within the building and construction industry, so that construction costs would not rise unduly. Time to vote. Before I announce the poll results, would you please check your vote? This is the result. 25 against, 11 for. Carried. Dr. Kwok, according to Article 37A of the Finance Committee, I propose that on the FCR 2015-16-12 Liantang Hangyun Y construction project, that it would not affect the New Territories North conditions, including the livelihood of the residents in that area. Let's put this to the vote. Before I announce the poll results, would you please check your votes? And we will now stop the voting, and this is the result. Against 24, for 11. Not carried. According to Article 37A of the Finance Committee, I move that for the Project FCR 2015-16-12 Liantang Heng Yun Wei construction project, that it will have to be in keeping with the economic interest of Hong Kong, and also there will have to be safeguard as to the reasonableness of the construction costs. Let's start the voting. Before I announce the results of the poll, would you please check the votes that you have cast? We stop the voting now, and this is the result of the vote. 11 for, 22 against. It is not carried, the motion. Ms. Chan Chi-chun. According to Article 37A of the Finance Committee, I move that according to the Hong Kong 2013 planning vision and strategy, it had been mentioned that Liantang area is not suitable for the construction of another BCP, but however, the LegCo is now asked to approve this public works, that is the PCP, for the Liantang area. This is because of pressure from the central government. The committee believes that there should be a temporary seizure of the construction works for this project, and also to take into account the urgency and the reason for the border crossing, and to take into account the public opinion of Hong Kong. Let us put this to the vote. Let us stop the vote now. This is the result. 10 for, 24 against. It is not carried. Chan Chi-chun, according to the Article 37A of the Finance Committee, I move that because there are a number of public works which are taken up at the same time, including the Sha-Tin Central Line, which had been gravely over budgeted, which had a budget of $65 billion. It is now $90 billion in terms of project costs. If the project of Liantang Heng Wei Yun is to be commenced, it will bring on grave loss to the people of Hong Kong. The committee believes that there should be due consideration and temporary suspension of the said project. Let's start the voting now. Before we announce the result of the poll, would you please check the votes you cast? We stop the voting now. This is the result. 10 for, 24 against. This motion is not carried. Mr. Chan Chi-chun, according to Article 37A of the Finance Committee, I move that because the Liantang BPP had to do with blasting and excavation works, and also the operation of high-precision tunneling machines. And there are scientific important areas, Lien Ma Hang Bat Hole. This kind of blasting and tunneling work would actually disturb the bat's life and habitat. And the committee, therefore, requests that the government conducts ultrasound testing in the area so as to minimize any adverse effect on the life of the and habitat of the bats, and to suspend such works until this is properly done. Let's start the voting now. Before I announce the results, would members please check the votes that you have cast? We stop the vote now. This is the result of the vote. 4, 10 against 22. This motion is not carried. Chen Chi-chun, according to Article 37A of the Finance Committee, I move that because of the Liantang Heng Yun Wei BP F project, the project affects the life of Chuk Yun village area, and the committee proposes that there should be a 3-month consultation period for the villagers concerning the facilities and the also the removal of these villages, so as to meet the needs of the villagers and to increase the transparency of the project. Let's start the voting now. Would you please check the vote? 10 for, 23 against. This motion is not carried. Mr. Chen Chi-chan. Thank you, Mr. Chair. According to 37A of the procedures of the Finance Committee, I move that because of the project of Liantang Heng Yun Wei, using Shuttlecock Road and also Fenlang Road as the connection roads, and it would increase the traffic for the surrounding area. The committee requests that the government suspends this project in order to assess the pressure on the surrounding roads before there can be a resumption of the project. We put this to the vote. Before I announce the results, would you please check the votes you have cast? We stop the voting now. This is the result, 10 for against 24. The motion is not carried. The next member, Mr. Fang Pok Wai, according to Article 37A of the Finance Committee, I move that because there are a huge number of mainland visitors to Hong Kong causing a disturbance to the Hong Kong people, that the government had refused to lower the number of mainland visitors to Hong Kong, while at the same time recognizing that Liantang BCF would increase the ability of Hong Kong to entertain mainland tourists. According to FCR 2015-16-11, this will increase the handling to 30,000 of such tourists, and it would increase the number of visitors to 10 million, and this would lead to more mainland tourists coming to Hong Kong and further aggravating the quality of life of the people of Hong Kong, and therefore this should be put on hold, this project. Before I announce the result, would you please check your votes? We stop the voting now, and this is the result of the poll. 4, 10 against 23. The motion is not carried. Mr. Fang Pok Wai, please. According to 37A, article of the Finance Committee, I move that in view of the large number of mainland visitors which had caused grave disturbance to the Hong Kong people, and the government had refused to lower the number of mainland tourists to Hong Kong, and at the same time feel that the Liantang PCF would increase Hong Kong's capabilities in handling mainland tourists. According to FCR 2015-16-11, this would increase the crossing in terms of processing the number of passengers to 30,000 and increasing the mainland tourists to Hong Kong to the tune of 10 million. The committee believes that there should be a contraction of the scale of the BCF that is in question to not more than 5,000 man times in terms of cross-border visitors, so as not to further aggregate the quality of life of the Hong Kong people. We'll put this to the vote and check your votes, please. This is the result of the vote. 9 for, 24 against. The motion is not carried. Fan Guowei, please. According to the Finance Committee Article 37A, I move that in view of the fact that the government had never promised that after there is an increase in the funding for the relevant project, that is Liantang BCF, and that there will not be a further overrun of the budget, the people of Hong Kong are concerned that the budget and cost of construction of this project will further increase. The committee requests that the government, first of all, will have to guarantee that there will not be any further overrun of the budget before there can be any resumption of the project. This is FCR 2015-16, bracket 11. This is the last 37A motion. Yes, let's put this to the vote, please. Before I announce the poll results, would you please check your own votes? We stop the voting. This is the result. 4, 10, 25 against. The motion is not carried. Mr. Leung Kwok Hong, your turn. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sorry. My mistake. Now we have dealt with all the motions related to FCR bracket 15 to 16, number 11. So when it comes to the site formation and infrastructure works, that is paper numbers FCR bracket 15 to 16, number 11, I'll put it to a vote. Is it going to be a division? The bell will be rung for 1 minute.
唔係嗰個，我哋去第12項就去返5分鐘嘅㗎。
No, it's not 5 minutes yet. After we've dealt with this, and then that will be 5 minutes. If there is no request for to shorten the length of the bell, it will be 5 minutes. Let me remind you that this is a vote of FCR bracket 2015-16, number 11. This is site formation and infrastructure works. Voting begins. Before I announce the result, members, please check your votes. Voting closes. Result displayed. 26 for, 10 against. So the item is endorsed. Now we'll have a break of 10 minutes. When we come back, we'll deal with FCR bracket 2015-16, number 12. We will deal with the motion under 37A.